Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. We are back in the Console EU Open bracket for the CGL Season 13 playoffs. We're a little bit behind, so we're going to get caught up here just a little bit, inching ever closer to that grand final. We've got Bliss Legion versus AFMT Hunter. You ready to get this one going?
I'm 100% ready to get this going. It has already been a very exciting few weeks here with the playoffs already. We still have a lot of matchups still to go because, reminder, there is still quite a few rounds after this as we'll kind of take a look at the bracket and know that AFMT Bliss Legion, even if they have to come away with this win, they'll have to run through not just Oblivion, but Smelvin Industries to be able to make it into the finals where MME Overwatch is waiting to see who's going to meet them there. And looking at this right now, AFMT, they're a highly capable team, had themselves a really good season, but they do have to run the gauntlet to make it back to MME.
Yeah, AFMT, a great team, very, very historic at this point, even if they haven't been around for years and years and years. They've kind of built up an aura around themselves thus far through their lifespan here in CGL. So a very, very strong team. Bliss Legion on the other side, a little bit newer. They fell to Oblivion in the first round, and they come back beating the Scum Squad in the first round of the lower bracket. But now they have a pretty big wall to get over here in AFMT. So I'm really interested to see how's Bliss Legion going to come when they've got a big, strong team in front of them.
Yeah, 100%. Well, obviously, we have to take a look at those teams and see what they're capable of and the members that we have on them. And of course, we'll check out Bliss Legion. Out the gate, we have JR7 and that Pigwis over on the DPS. Diametricals, I believe I said that correctly, on the tank. And then Kill the Hog and Daki over on the support. I mean, this is a hard fighting roster. There's no single way to go around that. You've made it to the playoffs. You've come away with the win in the playoffs, which at this point, nearly half of these teams can't say they're capable of doing such. So even if with this large mountain in front of them, this is a capable team that is willing to do what they need to do to come away with this win. And no matter what you think, no matter what you say, they do have a fighter's chance.
Yeah, I mean, every given Sunday. That's a football saying, but hey, it applies to every sport. Everybody can lose at some point. Everybody can win at some point. So Bliss Legion going to look to, pull off what most people would consider an upset. But you can't have an upset without, a people's favorite. And AFMT is, most people going to have them as the favorite here with, my God, what a roster this is. Akaza, NRG on the DPS, Dinks on the tank, and Ricky and Minnie pulling up in the back line. Akaza and NRG, the reigning champions of the NA console opens here. That DPS line is ridiculous. And then Dinks, Ricky, Minnie. I mean, all of them have been around for so damn long. Everybody knows their names here in CGL if you've been keeping up even a little bit with this console open bracket. So this team is you can't even cough in their direction, let alone scoff. This team is crazy.
I mean, 100%. Like, there's a reason this team was undefeated within the regular season. And this is a team now taking their very first loss against Smelvin Industries. I mean, that is a hot team right now that is angry about taking their first loss. They are ready to come in and have it done on top of what they're already generally capable of doing. I mean, it is terrifying. This is not the group I want to be going up against Fletch. No way, no how.
No. We do kind of have an idea of what AFMT does like to run. I mean, Akaza, the Tracer Extraordinaire, NRG, Hit Scan, Menace, Ricky, a great flex support that is incredibly flexible, Minnie and Dinks. I think those are the Europeans on this team, so I don't know as much about them. But I do know that they're great players that are, very, very strong. Oh wait, no, Ricky is American. Yeah, we do have our first map here. It's going to be 100. Could you have guessed Nepal coming into map number 1? I probably couldn't have.
Oh man, such a just such a wild map to play. I'm surprised more people don't pick this map more often, Fletch. It's not like almost every team picks Nepal anyway. I mean, in a more serious tone though, you can't really blame them. This is a reliable map that a lot of teams scrim constantly, so it's not really a surprise to actually see it here today. I'd say the biggest surprise is what we're going to actually see as we're going to get in here. And for now, Bliss Legion, look a little bit more honest about what they're probably going to run. AFMT, though, you can kind of see them playing around a little bit. Akaza is going to be on that Tracer, of course. So this is going to be a clash of two entirely different styles between Bliss Nexus and AFMT.
All right. AFMT rocking with this dive composition. It looks like Dink's going to roll out. Well, quite literally, it seems, on the wrecking ball. Bliss Legion, it'll be rush.
I mean, yeah, pure and simple. They're going to make their way to the point first and foremost. AFMT just going to set up for a dive between Dinks and Akaza, and Ricky to an extent to be able to come through, and Dinks already setting up for it, going to do initial one, just to create a little bit of pressure and force some cooldowns.
Slam comes down, pops that adaptive shield immediately as the Wrecking Ball does what Wrecking Ball will do. Dinks just being annoying, running through everybody right now, just rolling around, just chilling out, while the rest of the team tries to find something. Bliss Legion able to get the first flip here, but nobody has died just yet because AFMT have not found their opening, and Diametricals got absolutely shredded, just able to pop that Nemesis form to stay alive. But now the door is open for AFMT as they take the point, get the kill on Kill the Hog, as Akaza in this backline being a menace as always. 2 for the Tracer and 1 flip for AFMT.
Yeah, and you just saw how quick Diametricals was almost deleted. They had to pull out their form just to be able to stay alive. Like, they were getting shredded away. So now, Bliss Legion going to have a bit of a tough time getting back to this point. That's why you're seeing most of them transition over that top left area. Likely going to cycle around and drop down. But Dinks already knows what's coming. They are watching for them, ready to go up in there. And already going to slam down, force a little bit of separation. But Bliss Legion eventually got to be the ones to drop down. But Mini is gone already.
Okay, so it's a trade mini for Daki here. Bliss Legion, they need to make a play now that the Lucio is not in play for this AFMT squad. Can they find something here? They're getting shoved back into a locker, and they're all so damn low that there's just nothing that AFMT can do.
No, Bliss Legion has to be a little quicker with it, but the problem with that situation is AFMT, they are waiting. There's no scenario where Bliss Legion is going to be able to instantly get onto this point and make something happen, because they are ready for this dive every single time. Between Dinks and Mini, and even to an extent Ricky and Akaza are able to get up on the high ground as
Wait.
Energy. Come on, man. Come on, you're better than this.
It was zoning Deadeye. Zoning
Deadeye.
All right. Well, speaking of
what?
zoning.
Oh no.
Speaking of zoning, I mean, Dinks just slams in, kills 2 with the minefield. Kill the Hog. That was premeditated on Kill the Hog's part, just to go down there. Surely, right? Surely they didn't just jump into the minefield as Dinks kills 4.
Yeah, now 88% already. Someone had to force their way onto the spot. Likely, holy cow! All right, clearly not playing around. No, please, Diametrical, you got to realize. Okay, thank God they do not.
Diametricals is lucky that he's on a tank there right now, and I guess Kill the Hog throwing the blame onto that from that pulse bomb onto Pig Whips, and yeah, AFMT, they lost the first flip, but after that they didn't lose jack.
No, not at all. And they were clearly very capable on this small composition. But the thing to kind of note is Bliss Legion wasn't really sure what to do after that first fight. They were focusing on that top left rotation multiple times over, got caught in it every single time. So now we do see what is looking like going to be a little bit of a swap up. Currently teasing the Mauga, which not a bad pick by any means, because you're going to be able to deliver a lot of damage to this ball. It's why it's a good counter for things like Winston as well. But still, I want to see what AFMT can do, as Akaza going to switch over to the Soldier 76 now. And AFMT seem to probably know there's a swap up coming from Bliss Legion.
All right, so this is going to be really, really interesting, because now Dinks is mostly going to be alone. Yeah. So no follow-up on the dives for Dinks this time, as Mini just gets bullied there. Couple shots from JR7, and that Lucio is out of the fight. Dinks did slam in there a little bit, got a little bit of damage out. And for right now, AFMT, they're just going to have to play safe, as I say that. They're the ones that move to the point, and Pig Whips is all alone, and there's just nothing going right now, as they got that first pick, but Mini is already back in the fight, and now they're being shoved into this locker that you never want to be shoved into, especially when you're up against a team like AFMT. You cannot be scared to play them, or they're going to rip you to shreds.
I mean, you're 100% correct, and now the point finally going to go over to their favor. The rest of Blade Legion out. You see already that Pigwis going to go over to the Sombra now to kind of combat that Wrecking Ball, which, in a sense, going to be the right choice, but they still have to pull this off properly. Ooh. And wow, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, Pig Whips takes out Mini, but I mean, there's 3 more in turn for AFMT. Their response is perfect.
I mean, it is perfect now. Like, they're not letting Bliss Legion even get out the gate here. They might take the initial pick in these scenarios, but it doesn't matter because AFMT, they're still keeping their dynamic players alive, which is like Akuza, that Stinks, that's Ricky, people who need to stay alive no matter what. And now that pig is fighting the one-on-one. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you got to think that that's a fight that goes to Akuza. And on the other side here, yeah, it's just not looking great for Bliss Legion here on Nepal's Sanctum. Clean tracking from Akuza, as you expect. Is Dink's probably going to switch here. Maybe. Or just BM, I guess.
It might be a little BM. They would probably still feel kind of confident right now as Energy has Energy has the spot. Tech? We got a little bit of tech working here.
Okay, well, Energy caught out by Diametricals there on the highest of high grounds. Now it is the Tactical Visor from Akuza able to drop JR7 here as Bliss Legion once again try to play this safe. They do not want to peek out. Really, I don't blame them. Oh, God, that's not
please
good.
Get out of there.
Oh, okay, yeah, Daki cannot escape the fight there. And, you know, despite Energy being spawn camped, I do think that this fight is all but over for Bliss Legion. Deadeye from JR7 gonna try to find anything here. They kill Akuza. Can they get rid of the Lucio here in Mini? They will get the flip as Mini decides this fight's not worth it.
No, Mini should be able to get out as well. A couple shots coming through, not enough to take them down though. So, Old Base kind of leaving a little bit. AFMT, Bliss Legion, neither really gonna have a whole lot to work with. We do have the cage fight coming up, but that's really only gonna be capable for people like Dinks to catch them when they go in with these dives on the Wrecking Ball. But to be fair, they've been getting these picks off before you even see Dinks get fully engaged in the fight. And already in the fight, getting hacked, still doing a lot of damage regardless.
Yeah, rolls through 5 there. Needs to be safe. Diametricals needs to be safe here. Below 100 HP for the Malga here. Needs to get that healing if they want to have any chance of this cage fight doing anything of note. Do they get the touch? They get the touch from Kill the Hog, but Kill the Hog will just drop down into the pit to try and find anything as Akuza continues to just absolutely rain down. As it's just a shooting gallery from NRG from the high ground right now as the cage fight and the Tree of Life come out and mean absolutely nothing. Can they get rid of NRG? The Tree of Life saves the life of Diametricals for right now, but as it stands, AFMT are a stone wall that will not break down for anything here. Bliss Legion cannot keep up with AFMT there on map number 1.
I mean, not at all. Like, we saw a situation like in the first fight where, yes, the initial swing does go the way of Bliss Legion, but they still end up losing that initial fight. And it's really unfortunate, too, because Bliss Legion, for a sense, out the gate, looked like they knew what they were doing, but once AFMT kind of got the momentum together, they did not get stopped. They did not lose a fight, even when they were practically messing around at times. We had Dinks fall off the map. We had the zoning Deadeye. Those didn't really end up mattering because they just came back and won those fights anyway. So clearly a Super Bowl capable squad, still has a ton of confidence even after that map 5 loss earlier this week. I mean, we said it before, this team is dang capable of what they're doing, and they're showing it right out the gate here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a roster of champions, right? I mean,
totally.
You know, I talked about NRG and Akuza, right? But the short bus squad also had Ricky on it. So it is worth noting that at least, what is that? 60% of this team was on the North American champion last season. So, like, this is a tall task for anybody to go up against, and it's why Smelvin Industries had struggled so much against them all season before getting that first win over them in the semifinal, right? They're good. They are very, very good because Smelvin, they finished last season top 4, right? They're
Good.
also very, very good. AFMT, they're not a team that you can take lightly, even for a second, because they're a team that's like, even if they're messing around, even if they're trolling a little bit, if you give them an in, like if you give them like a little weak point right there, they're going to beeline for that weak point and rip you apart. And even if it's not intentional, even if it's like you think that you're playing sound Overwatch, they're going to find that weak point and rip you apart.
I mean, 100%. That is the thing with these teams, and I think a lot of what separates a good team from an amazing team is the ability to actually exploit those mistakes when they happen. Because you can make a lot of mistakes as a team. Every team is going to make mistakes. It comes down to whether you can capitalize on the mistakes of the other team. And as you said, that is exactly what AFMT specializes in. But of course, we can talk more about this all day, and I would love to, but we do have to talk about where we are going next, as it is going to be the map pick of Bliss Legion, and they're going to take us over to Hollywood, a map, quite honestly, Fletch, that kind of favors the ball again, if I'm being honest.
I mean, if you're thinking about what Bliss Legion did run on map number 1 in the Ramatra and the Maga, then I'd say yeah. But I think that as far as dive comps go, Wrecking Ball probably is the worst of the 4 on Hollywood, just because it's a little more inconsistent with the verticality. And, Winston, Diva, and Doomfist are just better at verticality. That said, I'm not worried about AFMT on this map, because Dinks, I feel like, is just that good. But as we get into this map, I'm really interested to see Bliss Legion. Are they going to change up? They will. They're going to go Winston.
Yeah, I mean, not too shocking at the end of the day, of course. Going to start out on the attack as AFMT decided to start on the defense. And for now, that's a weird looking Wrecking Ball right there. And
Whoa!
No way. There's no way they did that. There's no way. There's zero shot. That's... Well, we'll find out what that's about in a moment, but I do hope it's not what I think it is, Fletch.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not what we think it was.
No, it is not.
Right.
Let's explain the situation.
All right. So basically, there's a player that joined the lobby just now and shouldn't be there, and they were all in a group. All 6 of them were in a group, and we kicked out the one guy that's not supposed to be there, and it kicked out the whole group. So we'll get that fixed here in a second, I guess. That's really funny, though.
It is a little funny.
Oh, man. So,
the
Zarya comp, I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that could be considered, as this new meta evolves, that could be considered really good. The Doomfist, the Ramatra, the Winston, all of those are really, really good shouts. Zarya is not one of them. Like, she can deal a lot of damage, right? But that's really all she provides outside of the bubbles. I don't know. I think AFMT are just confident in their ability to win this game, even playing non-meta compositions. Whereas Bliss Legion, they know that they're not going to get away with that kind of stuff. And they're going to try and give themselves the best chance to win, and that, in this case, is the Winston. Because Winston, I think, is just, the best dive tank on this map. And dive is a really strong comp on Hollywood because of all the high ground in those first 2 points.
I mean, I honestly agree with that. When I think about looking at that Zarya, though, I think it is one of those tanks that is better utilized in being able to, what's the word I want to use here, to support your DPS in a sense. Because when we look back in the Zarya metas that we have had, because we did have a Zarya meta pretty early on within Overwatch 2, where it was more so of enabling your Reaper so that they could be in more effectively, do more damage, have more use. So it could be one of those scenarios. We did see the Hanzo, so perhaps they're looking to kind of just combo between the Graviton Surge and the Dragon, at least that's one of the classic combos we look back on Overwatch 1, and we do see it from time to time with Overwatch 2, but I have seen it been used more with the Flux when it comes to that dragon, which I think is pretty interesting, but, well, I mean, we're not going to know a single thing until we kind of really get into the match, which thankfully it seems we have everybody set back up here, so we'll get back in once again. Is AFMT gonna, well, that is not a Hanzo.
No, that's
It
not.
is not a
That's a
Hanzo.
Torbjorn. Bliss Legion on something also interesting with the Widowmaker and the Sombra. Usually it's Sojourn Tracer if you're gonna run that DPS dive DPS hit scan duo. So gonna be really interesting. As you can see, Pig Whip's back there trying to find something to set up for Diametricals, who's being, you know, bullied, or not bullied, but, you know, bothered by Dinks on this high ground. The dive going to come through. The Sombra going to help to take down Mini early. Bubble out on to NRG, who falls asleep on the job. Not the time to take a nap, NRG. The going to be up a little bit of charge. Only 38% given over to Dinks thus far. But Pig Whips and Diametricals, they're not looking so healthy right now.
Really not, but the thing at the end of the day is we saw the advantage come through as JR7 does go down, but again, a situation where Bliss Nexus not taking care of their advantage, and now they're getting punished, and they're already forced to back out of the situation.
Yeah, I believe Mini was attempted to be spawn camped by Pig Whips, and Dinks called that out.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, as you can already see them setting up for their next dive, and they can go after Mini again. They are 100% capable of getting Mini a second time, but Energy waiting for them this time around, just standing still, just standing still for JR7 to hit, doesn't get it off. I mean, AFMT just hiding away. Bliss Nexus has to make the first move.
Yeah, JR7 not able to find the pick onto Akaza, who was standing still. Man, that's just unfortunate. The Widowmaker not showing the you know, potential that it could, as Pig Whips gets turned on. 180, dominated, and Akaza continues to be a menace, even not on the Tracer.
I mean, yeah, 100%. Luckily, at least for Bliss Legion, they do have a Nano coming up here. Unfortunately, Ducky is gonna die a little late here. But, you know, still going to have that Nano, still going to have the ability to dive. JR7 going to use those sites out the gate here. Hopefully they can catch somebody. Or at the very least, make it tough for AFMT to get back to their proper high grounds. Because look where Mini is right now. They are down playing in this bottom left, along with a lot of the others. The Bliss Legion, they do have the ability to set up this Nano dive, go in deep. And they're already going to go with it in double support usage out the gate for AFMT.
Yep, and Akaza catches Pig Whips out in the back line again, and the Transcendence and the Amp Matrix came out from AFMT to, you know, scare off the Winston, and it did a great job of that. And even though JR7 finds this early pick on to Mini, it's just the fight's already over again.
I mean, yep, 100%. And now we're down to a single minute. Dinks coming up to their very first Graviton Surge. Might not even need it, though. JR7 already going to be down. I mean, the biggest thing is they use the combo just to stay alive, and the Nano comes out?
Yeah, and this is not gonna be a P! No! No! Crazy! No! 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 Oh, no! No!
Can't believe you've done this. Now, no EMP, no Nano. JR7 down again, and now they just have the Primal Rage, but Dinks has the grab, so the moment Diametricals tries to go in, I mean, they might not get the chance to go in. They just solo grab Ducky instead.
Diametricals has the Primal Rage to try and touch here if they need to, but because Daki used that Nano on Pig Whips there, they're not going to have it as that engage tool with the Winston here. So it's going to be not very easy here. Molten Core comes out from NRG to deny a lot of the space on that point, and deny a lot of space it does. The two for the turret here for NRG, and even as the Molten Core fades away, Bliss Legion are absolute. I feel like a Stonewall isn't exactly what AFMT was there. A little harder than Stone. I don't know, man. That was brutal.
We can go with Obsidian on that one. That might be a good thing to describe it. But no, you're 100%. That was brutal. And unfortunately, the thing I've noticed is that for Bliss Legion, their first fight on every map so far has been their best fight. They got that early pick onto Mini, and then unfortunately did absolutely nothing with it. This just proves AFMT is, from everything we've seen throughout the regular season, and clearly in this match, they are the better team. They're performing like the better team, especially now. And for Bliss Legion, it is becoming a question of, is there anything that we can do to stop them right now? Are we in a situation where we just need to pull something wacky out just for the sake of trying to do something, try to catch one little thing off of AFMT? I mean, is there even a shot of that being the case, Fletch?
I don't know, especially because we can see it. Bliss Legion can't right now.
Yeah.
AFMT are still rolling out on the Zarya. This is going to be really, really interesting. The big thing is that you just can't shoot Dinx's bubbles, right?
Yeah.
If they want this to have any level of success, you need to keep Dinx's charge low. And it's easier said than done because, you know, good Zarya players know to not just bubble themselves all the time.
Yeah. The biggest thing here, I think JR7 is probably going to be the biggest player for this team in terms of that the Widow going to be very hard to touch and should be able to negate a lot, but the biggest player already take it down. So I'm sorry, JR7. I just cursed you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, piece of scrap metal right to the forehead of JR7, and NRG sets one up, and Akaza bites Daki in two pieces, and the Diva touch not gonna be there. Tried to fly up to the high ground. AFMT going to take Hollywood here in they're gonna move to match point, and I mean, I really don't know what to say other than it was AFMT for that entire map. There wasn't a second where it looked like Bliss Legion could even take a step without AFMT denying it. Like, I don't know what else to say right now.
I mean, genuinely, your guess is as good as mine at this point. It's, I don't know. It's one of those situations now we have entered where it's clear that AFMT just has the momentum on their side, and Bliss Nexus just do not have the answer. And unfortunately, we're not back in the regular season. We're not in the upper bracket where you can afford to not have those answers at the time. You need to have those answers now. And it's just abundantly clear at this point that Bliss Nexus or Bliss Legion do not really have the answer right now. But I mean, what do you really do in this situation, Fletch? You're in a 2v1 situation, one map, and you're sent out of the bracket. You're up against a team that is performing leagues above you. Is there anything you can truly do in this situation?
Before we head to the break, I do want to answer that question, actually.
Ooh,
Throw everything you know about Overwatch out. Right? Just run it down. Just do... Because obviously it feels like the things that are trying to be set up by Bliss Legion, it's just not working. They've tried the dive, they've tried the rush. Neither of them worked because they were scared, right? And it's not like an easy thing to get over. That fear of dying to something that you can't really control, but I feel like at this point for Bliss Legion, you have nothing else to lose, right? At some point, you just gotta shed that fear and say, hey, we are Bliss Legion, and we're going to do everything in our power to take you down. And whether we take ourselves down or not, it doesn't matter anymore. We're one map away from being eliminated. Let's try and make it. Let's try and get creative. Just reckless abandon is like the only option now, I think, for Bliss Legion. And to be honest with you, I'd love to see it. So as we go into this break, Bliss Legion are going to have some time to sit, to talk, to try and figure something out to keep their season alive. So we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll see if they can do it.
Water is the softest and most yielding substance, yet nothing is better than water for overcoming the hard and rigid, because nothing can compete with it. Lao Tzu.
Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave.
Welcome back, everybody. This match has been all AFMT all the time, it feels like, thus far. So going into Suravasa, I don't know. I gave my opinion before the break as to what Bliss Legion could do. And my opinion is just stop caring, I guess. That is the end of the road here for me, or the end all for me. What about you, Hunter, though? What are you thinking Bliss Legion could do to try and stay alive?
Yeah, in the perspective of someone who's kind of played this game for a long time, both casually, competitively, I've been in these situations before where it just feels like you're climbing a mountain that you're just incapable of climbing at that moment. And I agree with your situation, where you kind of just have to fall back onto either what is comfortable or something that can just play fast, play rough. That is sometimes just what you have to do. At the very least, what you have to do is try to almost have, in a weird way, have fun with this map, because you have to remember the situation where it's like you're still a team, this is still a game, you are still here to enjoy yourself, even if this is a competition. So I just really want them to come in, do the very best that you can do, and sometimes that's just all it has to be. I don't think it has to be any more complicated than that. It's kind of a weird question to answer in this situation, Fletch, honestly.
Yeah, I do remember the last competitive match I ever played. I was not great that season because I was stuck one-tricking Sombra, which she wasn't very good. And then I just played Genji in my last map, and I dominated. And I just had fun with it, right? And, you know, it just at some point when your back's against the wall, and, you know, this is map number 3, and this is potentially the last map of Bliss Legion's season. It's like at some point you just got to realize that, yeah, like you said, it is a game. It is this is your family, right?
Yeah.
These players
Exactly.
are your family, your friends. These are the people that you've dedicated so much time to. It's just, you know, not everybody can win, right? Somebody has to lose, unfortunately. That's just the nature of competition. And right now, AFMT, it doesn't seem like it's going to be them.
I mean, yeah, they're a team that is tried and true, that is experienced. They are literal championship material, and Bliss Legion are just on a wall that is very hard to go up. But they still have a fighter's chance in this situation, no matter what we've seen so far. But that pig whip's already going to be down as the Pharah has come on the scene for Akaza.
Yeah, Akaza bringing out the rocket launcher here. Gonna find a second there in Daki as a mini. You know, putting the leash onto Akaza here. They're gonna find this first flip on the market.
Okay, yeah. Fight already done and over with. Bliss Legion not really changing up a whole lot right now as JR back onto the Widowmaker, which unfortunately not one of the best maps for a Widowmaker, unfortunately. But still, again, situation. You go back to what's tried and true. You play what you're best at, and you see what happens. At the very least, you're going to a character you think you can make work, as Akaza going to get super aggressive here. Going to get rid of the pylon, but will eventually die.
Gonna get dropped here by Daki as JR7 does get traded out. They need... That's a lot of the damage gone from AFMT, so Bliss Legion need to be able to just walk in here. Diametrical's trying to do something and able to take down Mini after Pig Whips was able to find that shot onto NRG, so Bliss Legion will be able to find this flip here.
We will get the flip. Ricky, though, is still on the scene. Oxa coming around the corner, 60%. Does have the ability to still do something. Oh, poor JR.
Yeah. I just see JR go flying through the wall. And that's just unfortunate. Pulse bomb out into Diametrical's NRG will not let the Maga get away here. I think that's a 3-piece for NRG. And 1 capture for AFMT. It'd be moving on to the next point, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, given Bliss Legion, they did come away with that 1 fight win, got that 35% flip, but AFMT, of course, will have the first point as everyone going to head towards the second, as still AFMT is staying on the offensive, trying to get rid of JR super low, but thankfully, Baki on the scene to be able to keep things alive. As every team's going to transition over, Dink's already there waiting for them. Unfortunately, has a little bit more company than I think they'd hoped for, but still able to stay alive with the rest of the team as we are looking for a barrage here pretty shortly. Oh,
and not going to get that barrage off, but NRG is there to clean up on the damage that was Delta's trying to... I just realized it was NRG on the Tracer, not Akaza. But, yeah, does not have a recall, no blinks to speak of for NRG here. And the first flip will go to Bliss Legion, but unfortunately, Dinks has found Pig Whips.
Yeah, but Diametrical's coming up to that cage fight. Daki still has that Captive Sun as well. And hey, at the very least, you're forcing out 1 ultimate within AFMT. Unfortunately, everyone's so far ahead to where that flip is basically just going to come for 3, so 22% as, ooh, Daki's going for it.
Daki went for it, and Daki got it there. The Captive Sun pick on to Mini. Now they're going to rotate over back to...
Oh, they were...
Nano boost out onto Akaza and is going to be good for 2 there. Make that 3 with a punch onto Daki. And yeah, Bliss Legion, it looked like they got a little turned around.
I mean, yeah. Again, they went in with the Nano, with the barrage. There's not much you could do in the situation without an Ana or some kind of stun to kind of stop it. So, Bliss Legion, again, they still have the cage fight. They have the Deadeye just in case to kind of keep Akaza out of the sky. But it's the same situation. They keep going to the same place, and Akaza keeps taking them out.
JR7 cut once again, and Akaza is not scared to get up in the face of anybody, and it will be another fight win here for Bliss Legion. The slam comes through from Dinks, Diametrical goes down, and Temple belongs to AFMT.
Yep. 1 more to go before moving on to the next round as Bliss Legion. They don't really have much to work with anymore. They are still holding on, to that cage fight, which I don't know if they're trying to save it for Diametricals, or not for Diametricals, for Dinks. This Mini will go down first, but still AFMT on the point first. We'll be able to stabilize a bit as long as Ricky doesn't die.
Well, Ricky does get stomped out by Diametricals here, so the flip should belong to Bliss Legion as long as they can find where NRG is hiding, and they do get that done. So first flip's going to go over, but they've already lost someone again.
Yeah, and there might be a retouch as well. You see right now going for it, Dinks will touch the point. Does have the ability as... poor Mini. Unfortunately.
Yeah, good pulse bomb by JR7. Does not get away from the rocket launcher there of Akaza again. But still, Diametricals anteed up. Still has the cage fight locked and ready to go. Not even going to get a chance to use it. Nano boost onto Akaza after the barrage. No. Gonna send Daki off the map, and NRG on the point finds 2. The flip goes to AFMT.
Yep, 42% though. again, they start with opening percentage every single map. Unfortunately, they just can't really. My point stays tried and true. Their first fight is always their best fight. They managed to win every single first fight of every round or every point, but they just can't do anything after that fact. Is unfortunately Hog already down, and I can't imagine the rest is in good faith.
Yep, Diametrical's just trying to run for their life at the moment. NRG cleans up the damage from the rocket launcher as Diametricals cannot get back into spawn. Still has the cage fight.
Yep, because going on a little trip around the world, why not? Got to go to the corner store, get yourself some pop, maybe a couple of snacks. NRG and JR do have a little bit of a 1v1 off, you know, a little bit of fun is 70% ticking away. Final fight for Bliss Legion potentially here, though they still have a lot to work with as the beat is gonna come out, and they're just gonna take the aggression now.
I hate to see the broken. Like, I understand it's a one-sided fight here, but I don't like seeing the broken spirits. You know, it's never great. They're gonna get this flip though.
Maybe Ricky is kind of there. We will eventually have the flip, but AFMT and Bliss Legion should be able to regroup roughly about the same time. And Bliss Legion, they do have a lot to work with. This fight is not just a done deal. They have 3 ultimates to work with. They just want to be a little aggressive with them. And unfortunately, AFMT just a bit more aggressive to start.
Pulse bomb from NRG, 2 for the Tracer here as Daki tries to find something with the Coalescence. Not quite gonna get that done as the barrage comes out. The damage done on the Daki is enough to help NRG take down the Moira, and the win goes to AFMT. I believe that means that they move on to play Oblivion in the next round of the playoffs. The lower semifinals will be between Oblivion and AFMT. And unfortunately, on the other side, it is the end of the road for Bliss Legion.
Yeah, an unfortunate case here for Bliss Legion today, but I mean, at the end of the day, you still have to give yourself some level of credit for making it to the playoffs in the first place. For at least, you know, you do have something to work off of. That's the one thing you have to know at the end of the day is no matter how that performance goes, whether that's in the regular season or the playoffs, it is still a learning experience for this team, for these players. Because obviously, you know, teams come and go, players come and go. That's how it is always going on in Overwatch in every esport, every facet of this world that we have. So at the very least, this is a learning experience for them to where they see these players and think, you know, I want to try to get up to that level. I want to be able to play like half as good as NRG does, as Axa does, as Things does. You know, that's the level you want to be able to get to. And even through a loss, that can create a level of motivation. So I really hope that is how they end up taking this, because it's not like the last time we'll probably see these players. They have the chance to come back, to do it again, to run it back, and hopefully do better than this go around here.
At the end of the day, not a horrible season for Bliss Legion. You know, they made it a few rounds deep in the playoffs. They won a game, and that's more than a lot of teams can say about their time in CGL. Is you know, make the playoffs, win a game in the playoffs. You know, it's like you said, you can't win all the time every single day of your life, right? So I do hope that the players of Bliss Legion, whether it's under the moniker of Bliss Legion or some other team, I just hope that these players realize that one loss doesn't define them. AFMT is a damn good team, and that there's always, you can always look up, right? You don't have to look down. You don't have to kick yourself forever and ever for losing one series against a great team. Look up. There's always going to be more in the future. So, unfortunately to Bliss Legion, this is where their road ends. Hunter, before we head off, do you have anything to say?
I mean, I just really want to see what AFMT do from the situation, because we know they're a capable team to make it back to those grand finals, to kind of get that match back against Smelth Industries and eventually MME. So my thing right now, the thing I really want to say is watch AFMT, especially this bracket that we're watching, because they're going through the absolute gauntlet between Oblivion, Smelva Industries, MME, Overwatch. Those are 3 very capable teams. So all 3 of those matches, they should be absolute bangers. But it's going to be one heck of a journey. And if they somehow manage to pull that off and go all the way and take another championship, I mean, in terms of CGL, they start getting up to that GOAT status, legitimately.
Yeah. So that will do it for us here on the EU side. Bliss Legion falls to AFMT 3-0. AFMT, they're still alive. Bliss Legion, not so lucky. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back tonight with one, maybe two more matches on the NA side. Should be really, really fun. I think that we've got a banger being cooked up tonight between Nexus and Shikigami, which should be so much fun to determine our final winners finalist in the NA PC open tier bracket. So that should be a lot of fun. So come check that out. A lot more playoff Overwatch to come through the next couple of weeks or so. But that said, we are getting down to the nitty and the gritty of it. All that's left are the great teams. So should be a lot of banger Overwatch. So thank you all for watching, and we hope to see y'all in the next series.